Okay, welcome to the first market overview video from myself. I'm going to be going over Bitcoin, mainly Bitcoin, but obviously I know in the coming weeks I'll be going over some alts and covering some stuff in which I know other people would like to see, but I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot of me in the group. And yeah, let's just get into it. So to begin with, we can go over the higher term from key levels in which we don't really have anywhere we are right now, because we've literally just surpassed the last daily, in which was key resistance, in which I took a short of this twice. Both times made profit. If we go down to the lower time frame, you can be able to see the rejections much more easily. But yeah, both times we literally hit it again, come back down, and then third time pushed through. But yeah, that was really our last resistance that we had on the chart, I think, until we're pushing up a bit higher, I still think. But yeah, there's that. Obviously we had the weekly level, which I think was the last good opportunity to get into a long, so that's where I'm still in my long from the weekly. But yeah, all these levels here, if I go onto the daily chart, you can see these are really all the key levels I think you want to be aware of, in terms of if we ever did come back down and want to test this region again, which I'm quite certain eventually at some point in time we will. So yeah, it's always good to have these here. I'm sure we'll be going over how to map and put these levels on the chart for yourselves as well, but if you're in this group, I'm pretty sure you know how these work already, to be honest, so I won't really dive into that too much just yet. But there's that, so always using these with confluence and just being aware of them. But when you go into what we're going to cover next, we have the volume profile, in which I've literally just marked out here. So if we go onto the hourly chart, or 4 hourly, you keep it on a reasonable time frame. Here are the key levels in which, when on XO, literally just going over to the TPO chart and merging back a set amount of days in order to get this volume profile. Personally, I merged it back from the previous all-time high up to around this region here, so literally off to where we broke out of the range. So literally ranging until we broke out, and people agreed that price needed to auction higher. So yeah, that's what these levels are based off. And like I said, you can use this along with the higher time from key levels, in which if we come back down into this region, you can use this volume profile as confidence to levels to be aware of. But yeah, there's that. Obviously I'm going to get into my actual idea of levels to be aware of, like, fairly soon, if we were to get a push up. So there's that. This is all like coming to the downside. So yeah, naked point of controls, again, levels in which you need to be aware of. Yesterday we actually made another naked point of control, like higher time frame one. So here it is, 62,875. That's a level to be aware of. I think if we were to come a bit lower, and test the region again, you could expect some sort of bounce or reaction at that level. Also one at 53 and 48k. I like to keep these levels on my chart and just pop them out any time to possible form confluence again with the higher time frame levels, like here. Like, you got a naked point of control and a daily level coming in at around 48k. I mean, if we were ever to come that low, that's that's great confluence, I'd say. But yeah, you have that. And also I don't really see a lot of people mark these levels out, but we have the TPO levels, in which I haven't really updated it just yet, but coming down to the downside, these are the levels I think you should be aware of, in terms of you got the London naked point of control close, and another London, and a few others coming in here. But I like to use these as they can also provide really good levels to get trades off. But yeah, those are levels to the downside, but I'm pretty sure everyone's wondering what to look for if we were to push up, which is what everyone, I'm guessing, is expecting. But yeah, here is one of my plans in which I had planned out from around this region here. But yeah, it's a pitchfork in which it seems to be really well respected, I think, in terms of you have midpoint, 618 of the pitchfork. Yeah, and that's really what I'm looking at. But you got the trend-based fib time here, so you got, if I was to put this on a higher time frame for everyone to understand what I'm coming at here, you have a low, a high, a low, and then that's where you get the trend-based fib time for the 1-to-1. That's what I'm really looking for. Yeah, so there's that, in which is 69k, and I've been looking at this region for a while as well. You got the 1.618 here as well from this region, so it's a fib pull from there to there. So let me just plot that out for you. There you go. So it looks something like that, high to low fib pull, 1.618 expansion to get your all-time high targets. Yeah, but there's something I don't really see many people use, is the Fibonacci on the pitchforks. I feel like they're really well respected in terms of when they get hit. It's really nice. We've got one here coming down here to the bottom on the 1-to-1 fib time on the weekly. That's kind of why I took that long as well. As I like to look at exo charts as well to base out my reactions and etc. etc. But yeah, in terms of the upside, I'm looking this 69k region really is providing it's a big take profit for me. But obviously taking profit as you go along, I think, is the most important, because it's all unrealized until realized. So taking profits along the way is definitely the most important thing to do. But yeah, I'm definitely looking at the 2 fib time as well. That could come in importance as well. That's coming in on the 20th of April, so in 6 days time, roughly around 8 o'clock. But just 20th of April really is what I'd be looking at. Yeah, there's that. Yeah, in terms of the upside, that's kind of a big level. I'd say 69k as well. You could have some sort of confidence in saying this could be like a front run of the 70k region, almost. 69k. So I feel like it's quite a big level. I honestly feel like we could top out at around there, and before we come down, have a little bit of a retracement before maybe even further upside. But yeah, that's one of my plans. Keeping this pitchfork. Pitchfork is based off, the pitchfork itself. You have low, high, low into the CC, into this region here, and yeah, basically you come up, come down, hit that 618 region, and you get that nice pitchfork forming. But yeah, so to get that 618, you literally pull from high to low to high, and look, there you go, straight into that region there. Nice, get that move up. Obviously, if you're trading this pitchfork from down here, you move up, you take profits at the midline, the midpoint of the pitchfork. And basically, that's basically what I was doing. I traded this pitchfork, took profits at the midpoint, came back down to the weekly. If we put on the higher time frame levels, you can see this here. Yeah, literally had like, this was, for me, it was a golden trade. Like, you don't really get these trades too often. Literally the 1-to-1 fib time on the weekly on the 618 of the pitchfork. Yeah, it was perfect. And yeah, that's basically what I was looking at there in terms of that. But let's just go back to the blank chart again. So yeah, we have that. If we're going over, a lot of people like to trade the patterns and etc. But here we go. This is what I've got. You got a rising wedge forming, I guess you could say. And if we're looking at possible targets, if we have the trend-based fib time, or trend-based fib, I like to look at possible levels in which could coincide with this trend line, in terms of the rising wedge, and form extra confidence with that. But I don't really like to trade sometimes the channels too often. But everyone each to their own. But yeah, what else was there to go over? So you have possible to the upside, so 69k region, I think, big take profit, really major take profit. So looking out for 69k. When coming up to that 69k region, Okay, sorry, I had the little interruption there, but yeah, coming back to what I was saying on in terms of when you're coming up to these moves, you really want to be looking at how healthy the uptrend is, how healthy the downtrend is, you know, in terms of finding divergences, even in terms of CVD, you know, going into that into more detail, obviously, further down the line. But, you know, if you know what CVD is at the moment, then you'll be able to ride with me on this. But, you know, you want to be looking at possible CVD divergences, cumulative volume delta. You know, I find it really useful in terms of when coming to key levels. If you're forming, you know, bullish CVDs at the lows at support, then it's extra confirmation in terms of you want to be able to take that trade with full confidence, in terms of you want to know that what you're doing is right. And trading is really all about confidence. I feel, you know, if you're confident in taking a trade, you know your stop loss, take profit, etc., then it should be a good trade in terms of if you've built enough confidence at that level to be even confident, then yeah, it should end up as a good trade as well, especially with exo charts basing it off reactions. I feel that's definitely a really key and important thing to be aware of. So yeah, basically if we're going to go off basic things here, literally the open interest has been increasing for a while now. However, you know, since when? Yeah, this morning really, we've had, you know, slight decrease in the open interest, going a bit sideways here, I'd say. Yeah, so there's that, showing I don't really see not really too many divergences here. If anything, we're forming bullish ones, but yeah, looking for that further move to the upside possibly still. Yeah, with that Coinbase IPO listing as well, didn't we have that today or something? I mean, I don't really pay too much attention to that stuff, but yeah, we had that. Yeah, so that's all really on exo charts, you know. Just it's quite, you know, the increase in open interest showing quite a healthy uptrend, bullish divergences. If we go over to the hourly, let's see how that's forming, getting along. Yeah, I mean, open interest looks really nice, really nice. And if exo doesn't want to lag out here, you know, if you can see where my cursor is here, we have a low. And we have a higher low with extreme bullish CVD coming in at these lows here. Like, you know, that's what you want to be looking for in terms of forming the bullish CVD, you know. Higher low, lower low than CVD, forming that nice push up as well. You want to be trading with the bigger people, you know. I definitely feel that that's beneficial as well. You know, you want to be on their side. Yeah, so there's that. Usually if anyone's interested, you know, for my day trading, I like to go on be on the 5-minute 40 ticks. Yeah, that's really nice as well. But also, whilst I was on that little distraction, I was able to find out, you know, those local value areas I gave you, you know, if we're coming to the downside, you know, you want to have your 618 region. You've got a low here coming up for that high. You do have like a really nice region of support here coming at around 59k, 59 to 50, like low 59s to high 58k. Really nice support here. So there's that. If we were to come down, obviously that would be a nice region in terms of, you know, 618 point of control. Obviously you want to be looking for longs there. I mean, you don't want to just blindly take a long there. You want to be looking, you know, if you have exo charts, you know, is the open interest, well, how's the open interest? I'd like to see a decrease in open interest at that level. You know, seeing positions like, you know, mainly longs closing out before we hit that level, forming a reversal, maybe a few, you know, trapped shorts down there just to fuel up, move up, you know, if we were to come down that low, obviously. But yeah, I mean, obviously where we are at the moment, I feel like it's very much still possible moves to the upside, but you know, if we were to come back down, these are the levels to be aware of, as well as your higher term time frame key levels. You have that. Also you have your previous all-time high, which we haven't actually tapped yet. And I know every time we've hit a previous all-time high, every time we've hit it, like, you know, come back to it, it's performed a nice reaction as well. So also to be aware of that 62k region. Yeah, so those are the levels really. You got 69k, I think, major take profit for me in terms of what I'll be looking at, you know, even taking profits now as we're moving up. Yeah, 69k region, that's really, you know, to the upside what I can be looking at. I do believe Bitcoin in, you know, the overall in this bull market so that we're in will trend a lot higher than 69k, to be honest. But that's, I guess, for another video, you know, more macro analysis of Bitcoin. But yeah, we have that. What else could I say? Yeah, I'm also like to be, you know, aware of my monthly open and weekly levels. You know, they're quite key levels in terms to stay above, or, you know, in terms of we like to stay above those before heading further up. You know, we like to form nice support on these levels, especially the monthly open as well. Quite a big level, I think, 58k, 58.8225, 22.5. That's quite a nice region in terms of if we stay above that, you can form confluence here. I mean, look at this. We have the monthly open. Yeah, monthly open on the point of control, and which I took off before, you know, high. If this is the high for Bitcoin at the moment, then yeah, honestly, that's what you could be looking for. Honestly, what I'd be looking for, coming down to that level, checking the volume, checking with trap shorts maybe, you know, and then yeah, that would be a nice, really nice long position I feel like you could get in. And it would also maintain the market structure we have here going on, like the more local one: high, higher low, high, higher low, before, you know, further continuation to the upside. I feel like definitely that could be something, you know, to be all aware of. And yeah, so just to wrap up and conclude, I definitely feel like, you know, these levels here, you know, you've got, you know, key high term time frame levels. You want to be looking at those. And, you know, I might as well go into this real quick, but I've been going over this a few times. But, you know, trading light, if you lot have it or don't, I think you should look into it. You know, £7 a month subscription, I'm pretty sure. Then, you know, the D7R liquidations indicator, it shows liquidations basically. You know, whenever we hit a key level, I like to look for liquidations, and if we get those liquidations, then it's just extra confirmation and confluence to, you know, hitting the level you were planning out on your trading view, you know, to actually take that trade. You know, a lot of people getting liquidated, people are going to want to fuel like a reversal basically of that level, because they've been liquidated. They're like, oh no, it's gonna, you know, it's gonna be a fuel for a move up, and trap positions as well to the downside if obviously we're looking for a long position. So yeah, there's that. But, you know, what I've gathered off my analysis really today is, you know, 59k region is really nice support, you know, as well as 60k. So you got, you know, 62k, and I'd say 59k is, you know, two really valid, you know, areas to be aware of. But yeah, especially, you know, that 59k region, you know, on the monthly open, on that, you know, 618, that's, you know, you could be looking for that. And then yeah, from that you could I don't know, you could look to trade it up, like, you know, further, I guess maybe even further all-time highs. But, you know, obviously you want to be taking your first take profit relatively quickly, but, you know, obviously you don't want to be closing out your whole position before, you know, you even reach your, like, your full target, you know, because that's something you want to be aware of. You know, if you're taking profits too quickly and closing your positions too quickly, you know, you're not really maximizing your profits. And, you know, yeah, that's something you want to be, you know, completely aware of. So yeah, that's really that. So you got 59k region, I'd say, to the downside, and, you know, to the upside if we, you know, if we were to move up further. You've also got the 618 of the Pitchfork to be aware of, which I showed you how to draw that on. I like to use the modified shift Pitchfork, by the way. That's the one I've been using. So yeah, you know, 20th of April as well, be aware of that. That could be a pivotal moment if we were to get this move up and follow this trajectory that I've kind of drawn. Wow, yeah, that would be nice. But obviously, move to the upside, I've given you levels, downside, I've given you levels. Yeah, so that's kind of my view for Bitcoin. You know, just trading at level to level, really. You know, not looking, are we going to go to 80, 100,000 right now? Because, you know, I don't think we'll get there. You won't ever get there in one big push, you know. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the Discord and everything. Thanks.